Tuncel is now coming in. There's Ahmet. This is the guy who said he had over 200 fights. So I want to just jump on that fight. That really surprised me. I got to tell you, I was one of the people who picked Deontay Wilder in the fight.
Right.
And Tyson Fury just stepped to this whole other level where he's the #1 heavyweight on this planet.
Well, I think that's what it's about, and I think it can transcend back to this fight here. Everyone needs to step up. Everyone needs to take advantage of the opportunity.
From Brentwood, New York, make some noise for Prince Slaughter.
And from Brentwood, Long Island, New York, here comes Prince Slaughter, the man who told me, and from what I've heard from a lot of word about trainers on Long Island, said he really is something else. And for him, it's a debut as it is for Tuncel.
Yeah, absolutely, and both fighters come in here from the southpaw stance, but it's about motivation. If we can get a shot of Prince's shirt, he's paying an homage to a local fighter that passed away, Patrick All Day. So I like that there's motivation here for that.
Let's get this thing started. Go up to Cara Castronova.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at the Paramount in Huntington, New York. This bout is scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the lightweight division. It's brought to you by Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing and sponsored by Modell Sporting Goods, the Tudor Advisory Group, 94.3 The Shark, Core BTS in association with Barracuda, and the Inn at Fox Hollow. Welcome to all the fans in the house and those watching live around the globe on Fight.tv and Fight Network. This contest is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The 3 ringside judges are Basili, McKay, and Varela. And inside the ring, controlling the action at the sound of the bell is Pat Sullivan. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 136.8 pounds. Tonight, he makes his professional debut. He is wearing the red trunks, hailing from Queens, New York, Ahmet, the Turkish Wolf, Tuncel. And introducing his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 135.2 pounds. Tonight, he makes his professional debut. He is wearing the white and gold trunks, representing Brentwood, New York, Prince Slaughter!
Yep. All right, fighters, you've been given instructions in the dressing room. I expect you to obey the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission. Touch gloves. Come out of bell fighting.
Referee Pat Sullivan with quick instructions. Remember, in the dressing room, the referees go into each and every man's dressing room, give them a thorough directions on what they expect. So this is just, it's just like a little bit of icing on the cake when they get into the middle of the ring. They have gone over everything. Here we go, round number 1 in a scheduled 4-round bout between the southpaw in white, Prince Slaughter, and another southpaw in red, Ahmet Tuncel. Both of these guys making their professional debut tonight.
Yeah, early on you can see that Slaughter is hooking that right hand every time Ahmet leans in with the jab, and now it seems to be corrected. Early on in a 4-round fight, you have less time to figure your opponent out.
And that's a very good point, because many guys, both in the amateurs, remember they're coming right from the amateurs, where you have 3 rounds to get the job done. There is no playing around. There is no time to feel out, because if the guy wins the first round, you've got to come back to win the next 2 or knock him out. There is no time to feel out. Just like in a 4-round fight, you got to go to work.
Whoop. Ahmet almost landed a right hook, but Slaughter was able to defend. What I was about to say is it looks like off of Ahmet's jab is where Slaughter is content to work early on.
Ahmet putting on some good pressure. I like his counterpunching. I like his jab. And right now, it doesn't seem like Slaughter has exactly the bead on what Tuncel is bringing to the game.
Yeah, still trying to establish a perimeter is Slaughter. You can see that Ahmet has kind of gone to a bit more of a brawling style as we're halfway through.
Well, Slaughter is a fantastic counterpuncher. At least he's shown that to be in the amateurs. And if you wind up with these shots that come from another zip code, he's going to tag you.
Just right there, a right hook landed. Something to keep an eye on now. Tuncel has been effective twice with the right hook.
We passed the midway point, round number 1, scheduled for 4. Randy G with Matt Stryker here from the Paramount. If you're just joining us, you're watching us on Fight.tv. Call your friends because we got a long card for you, topped by Cletus Selden, one of the best at 140 pounds, and heavyweight contender Carlos Takam.
Yeah, heavy punchers coming up later on, but in this fight here, we're really seeing a good display of fundamental boxing. And you mentioned the amateur careers of both of these fighters now making their pro debuts. They have to stick to their foundation.
And both these guys basically known as boxers more than punchers. And so far, they have not shown a propensity towards any kind of defense. They want to go after each other.
Slaughter snuck in an overhand left. Could be trying to establish something as we move out of the first round.
This has not been a feeling out round, and we discussed earlier about the aspects of feeling out in these 4-round fights.
Another thing the fighters have to adjust to is that, they are scoring with the front of their gloves, and now the judges will score the fight.
Well, I just passed Matt some scorecards. I'm not going to peek at his, but every round we're going to check with Matt. I've got my scorecard. I scored the first round for Ahmet Tuncel.
Oh, look at that. I'm on the flip side. I like what Prince Slaughter was doing early and often. So let's see what these next few rounds bring.
And what I saw was a little bit more pressure and a few of the harder shots by Tuncel. So here it is, 1 round in the books tonight. You got it one way, I got it another. And that's exactly why you have split decisions.
Oh, yes.
Because the judges are watching the same fight, but from 3 different angles. You and I are watching from the same angle.
Sometimes we wonder if they're watching the same fight. The long-time fans can immediately rattle off 5, 6, 7 decisions that make you go, huh?
Exactly. Veteran referee Pat Sullivan tells him to wait. Hold on a second, guys. Back up. Bell, round number 2, scheduled for 4. In the lightweight division, if you're just joining us, I'm Randy G, along with Matt Stryker. In the red is Ahmet Tuncel, and his opponent is Prince Slaughter. They're lightweights making their debut.
And so far, the left hook of Tuncel, followed by a right hook as well, have been effective for Tuncel. Seems to be controlling the perimeter, so to speak. Oh, here it comes.
Tuncel moving those hands as he comes in. 3-punch combination. Even though they were blocked, they are backing up Slaughter. And Slaughter seems to be throwing 1 punch at a time like that, the jab.
Step and jab.
And look what he's doing. He's dropping it low. If I was in his corner, I'd say throw it and get it back.
Yeah, the left hand constantly landing on the chest, and also Slaughter starting to get into a step and jab rhythm, and a good fighter may be able to time that. We could see a knockout here.
1 minute gone, round number 2.
Yeah, Slaughter has to get out of that corner and wisely does so.
Good break by referee Pat Sullivan. He was going to let him. Usually Pat likes to let guys work out of it. But in that case, there was going to be no working out. He didn't want to see any headbutts or any extracurricular activity. No rabbit punching. In New York, they do not tolerate rabbit punching, and they shouldn't anywhere.
Absolutely. It's incredibly dangerous. And now you can see that the left hand of Slaughter, and the left hand knocks him down.
Good shot by Slaughter. He stepped right in. And the count is 6, 7, 8. Walk to me, says Pat Sullivan. Bang your gloves together.
Slaughter's got to bring the pressure here. There's the left again.
He's unloading on Ahmet. He looks hurt. He's staggering.
Needs to get out of that corner. Needs to circle away from the power of Slaughter. That's exactly what the Turkish Wolf is doing right now. But the hound may be baying. Oh!
He is hurt. Pat Sullivan watching him. In New York, they are pretty quick to stop fights. If he gets hit with one more solid shot, I think Pat Sullivan's going to stop it. Staggering again. Sullivan watching.
A lot of Slaughter's punches aren't really connecting flat.
Still got a minute to go.
I notice Slaughter's mouth is open as well. Sign of a tired fighter. Is he punching himself out?
We'll see about that. 45 seconds remaining. Round number 2, scheduled for 4.
Look at that, weathering the storm, the ebb and flow.
Left hand hurt him.
He still hurt.
It's
That's
over.
it.
It is over. It was a sharp left hand. Pat Sullivan had seen enough.
Do you agree with that stoppage there?
Oh, absolutely.
Fair enough. There it is.
Because after the first knockdown, he had been floundering around the ring, getting hit with a lot of shots. And keep this in mind. In New York State, under the New York State Athletic Commission, they are quick as any commission in the nation to stop fights. You gotta remember, about 5 years ago, they had a near fatality when heavyweight Mikey Perez administered in just an incredible action-packed fight against Magomed Abdul Salamov. It went all 10 rounds, and afterwards, Salamov fell into a coma. And since that time, this commission is very quick to stop the action. Let's get the time from Kara Casanova.
Referee Sullivan stops the contest 2 minutes and 37 seconds in round number 2. Your winner, Prince Slaughter!
We saw the boxing ability, especially in the second round of Prince Slaughter. And then we saw the power as he knocked Ahmet Tuncel down, battered him around until the referee, Pat Sullivan, could see no more.
And it was Tuncel's corner seems to be a little annoyed with Sullivan's decision. We alluded to the amateur career. We don't know how much punishment Tuncel could take. Perhaps his corner thought that he could take a little more, but when those legs buckled, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the right call for the safety of his fighter in his debut.
You know, very, very often, and I would say it's 90% of the time, when a guy is on his feet and stops, the referee jumps in. The corner doesn't see it that way. The fighter complains. You know what? I don't think there's a person in this building, and they're still filing in. They expect a packed crowd here tonight at the Paramount. I had no problem with that, and I'm a guy who spent 7 years as a commissioner.
That's why I asked.
And I'm pretty good at knowing when a fight should be stopped.
Absolutely.
I have seen fights where, you know, we could score fights. You could have it one way, I could have it another. You're going to probably be right. But when it comes to stopping a fight, I would rather see it stop one punch too early than one punch too late. Now, how do we know it's one punch too early? How do we know it wouldn't have been one punch too late?
That, to me, is a quotable saying that it should go out there on social media, especially with all the conversations that's been going on the past week. You'd rather it stop one punch too early than one punch too late. Fantastic analysis there.
Look at Deontay Wilder last week, and we were talking in the opening about that. Deontay Wilder was floundering in the corner. I thought it was a perfect stoppage by the referee, Kenny Bayless, and I thought it was a perfect stoppage also when cornerman Mark Breland threw that towel in. There was nothing wrong with Breland saving his fighter to fight another night.
And there you go, and that's why we celebrate the sport. We want to focus on the positives of this sport because